Okay, welcome back to the Monster Train. We've had some ups and downs for sure, but off for the run and hoping to get some good luck here. All right, looks like we got the exiled clans again with Stygian and Melting Remnant. And yeah, Mollusk Mages can be a good addition. The encasements, I think I mentioned these before, you can set these up to be endless or something. They can fuel a floor pretty well. And it looks like our boss isn't getting rid of stealth debuffs this time, so that's nice. And Titan's Tooth can be good with our basic Orgon powers here. The discard a card can sometimes set that up. So actually decent, I think. Let's check out our artifact. We can make our tomb units tougher and have burnout, or make our frozen cards cheaper. Once again, with the discard, frozen card synergies aren't very likely. We have 2 tomb units. And I think we're happy to give them extra health and burnout. Usually want these to die right away, and the extra health means they can tank an extra hit, though in the case of the stealth one, it doesn't actually matter that much. So I could even see this being a skip, honestly, for money. But I'll give the Melting Spout a shot. I could do something later as well. The Exiled Champion has some interesting upgrade paths. I'm generally a pretty big fan of this one. You can make your champion put out some pretty good damage. I usually pick up a stack of the Titan channel in the mix as well, just because getting 45 attack at the price of just 4 stacks is pretty good, but the later upgrades of Titan channel tend to be a little bit weak because you have to cast so many spells before your champion actually joins the fight that it can be a little too slow. So given that, I'll be looking to potentially pick this upgrade up later, but for the time being, we'll just take the DPS upgrade here. Off to our first battle we go. Let's see, 10 armor. Could be a little tough. We once again find ourselves without a good way to hit units in the back. The encasements hopefully mean we'll be a little bit safer from attacks at least. I'm gonna take this and just expect to take some fire damage. I think it's okay. We'll probably want to set up near the bottom since we have a lot of frostbite type stuff, and we do want to incant on the same floor as our hero. That said, I'm inclined to set up on a 5-slot floor so we can actually play some of those 1-slot units. So I will play my hero and a steward up here. Might as well play the mold for the incant, and I think I will apply frostbite over the other incant. Alright. Sort of unlucky getting the collector there, though if it spawned up here we couldn't have killed it either, so maybe not ultimately that relevant. The Mollusk Mages actually don't do very much at the moment. We have 1 spell that deals damage, so I'm going to be looking to play Molten Encasements here, but I can set up some of these mages up with a steward at the top. They have the same attack and they only take up 1 spot, so it ends up making the floor slightly better. And as you can see, we're going to be leaking a lot, but not that much we could have done about it. And yeah, we'll play the encasement on this floor, and he's unfortunately still not doing anything. Just get some incant triggers and hope to at least reduce that so it only takes a single hit from the pyre to kill. Okay, we got our second encasement, so we can go ahead and try and save this floor. Which also deals some extra damage here, that's nice. Might as well replay our other one over here. it's just a matter of where we would like to play these. 6 extra frostbite I don't think makes a difference here. If we apply all 12, that would kill it. So if we discard the steward first. So that's a little bit interesting, or we can try to just get some damage on the boss. I'm going to try to preserve a low pyre health. Alright, managed to kill that one. Still taking quite a bit from the archers, as we expected. But stealth here should help us out a bit. And we need our Titan's Tooth. So, unfortunately the train swords are in the way a bit. I get to start with one of these. Hope we discard Titan's Tooth, we do not. And then this we'll just try again. Although at this point it doesn't even matter, since this is the only thing it's been mana on, so. And looks like we win, thanks to Titan's Tooth there. So, okay, first battle. Took some damage as expected, but I think that's alright. Okay, so Flash Freeze could be one way to hit some stuff in the back. We already have lots of Frostbite as well, so that's a synergy that we could look to build towards. Offering Token, good with Titan's Tooth, but not much beyond that. And the spell weakness not really looking too great at the moment, so we'll take Flash Freeze. Here we have our option of another Tomb unit alongside a Drip Fall, which I still consider just be a decent generic spell, and the Whiplash I don't think we're too interested in at the moment. The Into Explosive is okay. It's a good target alongside our stealth guys for primitive molds. It takes up 1 slot, so I'm happy enough to pick that up. Deals a lot of damage for the early game. Okay, and our trial reward is a creature, so we have our option of the Lady of the Reformed to try and set up some sort of burnout floor. Not a bad tank, honestly, really solid stats to begin with. We have a guard if we wanted to go heavy on the incants, which we do have a lot of free spells, and we'd have the mollusk mages. So that's something I could definitely be interested in, and of course we already want to incant for our champion as well, so that's a pretty good pickup. Paraffin Thug, a little bit weaker of a minion, but it can make you some gold. It's pretty good, but I'm a big fan of incant in general, so I'll pick up the guard here and look to have a tank for our champion, double down on the incant triggers. And here we'll just go to the Merchant of Steel, try to make our tank a little bit tougher. None of these spells, maybe with the exception of Titan's Tooth, am I really looking to improve all that much. So. Alright, some decent generic upgrades, can't quite afford the large stone. And, ooh, we got, okay, that's an interesting one. We got an option of 2 different incant creatures. The Siren, decent, but if we take that, then in order to fit our champion and our guard and the Siren, we're looking to have to improve space, which is not necessarily something we want to do usually. The Lodestone Totem fits nicely on that floor, but of course it has the downside of costing 3 whole Ember. So it is a little bit tricky to get down. That said, I think because it fits so nicely, and it is such a powerful effect, there's a reason this is an 0-1 for 3 energy. I'm gonna go ahead and pick this up. And then go ahead and give our tank extra health. And, you know, the totem is gonna sit back there, so it might as well have a little extra attack for now. We'll be looking to either give it an armor incant or some extra health to survive things like sweep later, but for the time being, it can just poke for a little bit extra damage. Okay, not a bad start, I think. We do unfortunately have the spike boss, so our totem's gonna kill itself, but it will have done its work before before that really matters. and our champion doesn't even attack, so that's kind of convenient in that sense. And the trial is to give them extra attack. Our tank has 40 health, and we're looking to probably set up a bottom floor that just blocks with some of these guys, and then set up above. So, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take this. It could be a little bit dangerous if we leak stuff through the pyre. It's gonna deal a lot of damage, but I think we've gotten a little bit better since the last time we've done this. Okay, and it looks like we got our lodestone totem right away. We're going to be looking to set ourselves up in the middle here. We'll go ahead and put it in the back with the 1 health. So kind of nice that we drew it early when we have the spare energy, and now it's just kind of out of the way. Okay, and here we'll be playing our tank, of course, and then just play these cards and look to discard our Titan's Tooth. And everything's dying now, that's great. Our champion's getting a little bit of power up here. This next wave is going to be a little bit trickier, but we'll see what we can do. Okay, we picked up the Flash Freeze, that's good. Foregone Power is certainly going to go on the Protector here. So he's going to be dying to Frostbite already. So we have to decide if we'd rather have more Frostbite on the Disciple or just go ahead and kill the Reconciler. What is the math on that work out to? So this will take 8 now, 7 here, that's 15 damage. So we'll still take 2 hits from the pyre regardless. So we might as well kill the unit in the back, I think. Although as it stands, it's taking 3 hits to kill with the pyre, which is also a problem. Though there's a good chance we get a Foregone Power the following turn that we can apply. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and kill the back unit. And of course these incants should reduce some of the incoming damage as well. So get a primitive mold online. What I can actually do here is play the Steward on the top floor, and that guarantees 5 damage on this unit. Okay, would have been nice to get our 50 damage tomb to set up on top, but that's okay. We'll leak this through, it'll deal a little bit of damage, but we should hopefully be fine for the boss. Yeah, we do still want to continue incanting there, but there is some consideration to at least throwing down a few units down here to do a little bit of extra damage, so I think I will go ahead and do that. 20's not a lot, but it's something. And I'll actually take the incant over to Frostbite here as well. Our Mollusk Mage unfortunately killing its health there. Okay, pretty weak draw. Actually extremely weak draw. We might be dead here, but you know, nothing I can do about it. Just go ahead and play our encasement, and then might as well play these, I suppose. Maybe we get there. Let's see, this guy's taking 5 at the moment. Can we do anything to improve on that? Yes, we can play this, which will kill it. Alright. Lucky draw there, after some unlucky draws previous. We managed to get through, taking a little bit more pyre damage, but hopefully we'll be okay in the end. Alright, now here we have another offering card that's pretty decent. I do generally prefer Titan's Tooth, but since we're stuck with these Foregone Powers, might as well synergize with them for the another flash freeze could be useful as well. We still only have that one to hit the back units. Helical Crystal is, I think it's just worse than Crypt Builder in this spot. So it is between these two. This is a nice synergy. This is kind of filling a void in our deck that we need, so I might actually just go with that. Yeah, I think I will. Alright, a third of these stealth guys. Pretty decent. The draft we don't really want, I don't think. We're not looking to be molding a draft to make it a strong unit. I don't think that's where this deck is going. And we don't really need to mold it. I want this. Our incant floor is already set up, but we do need... yeah, I think we're going to be relying on these guys for one of our floors at least. Okay, here we find the Wickless Baron, which I think is one of the best combinations with all the tomb units we've picked up. We just sit him on the bottom and play our stealth guys and our exploding guy. Just hopefully watch him grow out of control while he's stealthed out, and then for the boss he's a big guy that can do some damage. Again, no room for additional incant. We don't have any way to move our units between floors, so nothing too interesting there. The Sentry is a good way, a good pseudo AoE of sorts, but we're kind of doing okay on tanks with the tomb units we have, so we're more interested in something that can sit behind. Alright, I think I might value the Pyre health here. 15's a little bit rough for the boss. It looks like we have the knockback Talos as well, which is always a tricky spot. Versus another unit, which we could probably use, but I'd definitely rather make sure we're a bit safer, and the artifacts, of course, always welcome. Let's see, silence versus extra attack. Stuff has been leaking, but I think that's largely because of the trials. I'm more interested in silence. It's going to get rid of some very nasty effects. Make your life quite a bit easier. And we encounter the abandoned train yard once more. And I'm gonna continue to choose the trap shoot until something strange happens. A free spell that has a powerful effect instead of one that costs 2 mana, I think is just usually better, so. There we are. Off to Talos with a slightly healthier Pyre. Hopefully we can get through this. We might be looking to do something a little strange with our unit arrangement to let our hero perhaps fall to the back. After a hit from Talos, but here we have a slightly awkward setup as our Lodestone Golem's energy cost is getting in the way. And it's a little bit problematic going forward too, because we have all these zero costs. We're really not looking for energy outside of this specific interaction. Gosh, I don't know. Sapu could be really, really good against the boss specifically. But I think I'm willing to let the Lodestone Totem come back around, and just use my mana for other things this turn. So let's set her up in the middle, and then probably just throw a Train Steward in the way of our Baron here, and look to kill this unit. No one can triggers that turn, that's fine. Yeah, and here you can see the silence already coming in handy, though these incants aren't too powerful. It's still something we don't want to have to deal with. Alright, so we got one of our burnout units. That's great. we can tank the hit from the boss and then die. Let's see, we're taking 7 damage the following turn. So, typically I would like to maybe put our champion in the front so that when Talos comes around they can push her to the back, and then we're actually in the correct formation, but we can't survive the hit if we do that. So I'm going to look to play this in the front and hope we pick up one tile unit we can stick in when the boss comes around. And in the meantime, the train steward might as well get set up on top. Maybe it'll absorb a boss hit, that would be great. Do we want to play this for a trigger here? I think we're okay. I mean, this is going to come through, but it's just not that dangerous. It'd be nice if the Baron started actually getting some kills on his own as well, but when you do, alright, and here we do get lucky. We get to just go ahead and give our units stealth and avoid the boss hit. And continue doing the same thing on the bottom. I don't think there's any reason to play the other steward. We might want the space for something else, so we'll just get some more cant. We can see that unit made it through, but dealing just 6 damage, so not big of a deal. Alright, we continue drawing our stealth guys, that's great. Let's see. I don't think there's any reason to not play it here. I suppose if we... No, we can't redraw our totem yet, because then it would be exposed while these guys have stealth, but it's not going to happen, so might as well. Here I think we'll just flash freeze this guy, make sure he doesn't hit the fire. Unfortunately, we're missing there on 50-50. Alright, this guy doing his job, eating boss hits. It would be nice to go ahead and kill that. Let's see, we might as well reform some units. Continue playing some down here. Anchor one for the boss. I guess if I played this here, we get to do 5 damage, so yeah, that seems okay. So now we get to kill this front one. And then... I don't know how likely we are to get to the totem at this point, but I still like saving the spot, I think, so we'll just continue doing that and continue getting unlucky. Definitely glad we picked up the extra pyre health. I think we will be dying right now, so... oh, this is the 50 damage guy. I think I mistook that the original time I played it, but that's great. That means he's gonna kill this. And here, we have burnout 1. Let's see. I think I'm actually going to be looking to play both of these, so if we don't hit it exactly with the... we do, alright. So then we might as well get this down and play a mage up here as well. Alright, we're doing 300, that's pretty good, and it looks like we got our Titan's Tooth. And it looks like we're going to be able to set it up to play it for free, so this should be pretty straightforward here. Yeah, looks like we're already killing. Bam, got him. Alright. Go ahead and let this play out. Took a bunch of damage again, but that's why we were interested in the heal beforehand, and now we can hopefully power up our units soon and be off to the races. Alright, Harness looking pretty bad here, with almost no spells that deal damage directly. Intent on Death. Kind of interesting, we do have the multitude of stealth units that do have an okay extinguish ability, but I don't think it's quite strong enough. I'll take a Siren Song. Gets us out of a bit of trouble sometimes. And here we have another Incant option. This one obviously working a little differently. Withdrawing us extra cards. Not really interested, we have room for it. And then we have our other Harvest Tycoon. Pretty common to see the two, the Tycoon and the Baron on the same floor, just kind of with some stuff dying in front of them, but I think I'm more interested in picking up this Gold Celia and setting that up on the bottom alongside the Baron. It'll stack up a little bit of Frostbite on the bosses, and it'll do some much needed clearing of backline units for us as well. And here I will take energy just to make sure we can get our lodestone down. That's important enough. Alright, so yeah, we're going to be heading towards the Merchant of Steel as I mentioned. Gold bonus money along the way. Higher health not as necessary since we got the upgrade that heals us, but not exactly going to complain either. Okay, here we see the third upgrade of Soul Guard, which applies Frostbite on Revenge. Don't generally prefer this one. The champion just isn't that tanky, so it's hard to make this work, and we'd rather just stick with the path we're going down for now. I have made this work, I think, once with Awoken and just healing it a lot, and that was pretty good, but typically it's just, it doesn't have the survivability for you to really take advantage. So we'll go ahead and take this, make it deal extra damage. Alright, and we start off with Multi-Strike, which is fantastic to see. I would be happy with that on either the Cold Celia or the Wickless Baron. And I think I'm gonna do it on the Cold Celia. It applies extra Frostbite stacks. And you know, hits the whole floor, that's pretty great. And we'll go ahead and give it some attack as well. And here I'll give the health to the Baron. He's going to be acting as a bit of a tank for the boss phase. And keep this slot open for maybe additional incant. And see what a reroll is. More health, more attack. Nothing too wrong with that. I will give more health to one of these two creatures for sure. See what is coming up next. Okay, we do have just an immediate second Merchant of Steel, which I think is where we'll go. We'll want the removes anyway. So, given that, I'm willing to be a little greedy and continue saving this slot because I do think the Incant armor would be a bit better. So I'll just give this guy a whole lot of health. And unfortunately, that means the attack isn't really helpful. As I said, I kind of want to save this. Maybe another health upgrade or something along those lines to avoid dying to sweeps. And the guard, yeah, doesn't need attack. That's not what his job is. And the rest of these guys are either due to be removed or are planned to die anyways. Save for 45 gold. Come on. But yeah, our Cold Celia is now an extremely powerful unit, so we're hoping to get that going and we'll be in great shape. And here we're getting the Spell Shield. not a problem. Most of our spells just apply Frostbite anyway. So, don't care at all. Well, we care a very small amount, I should say. Alright, top being smaller is good. Once again, draw our Lodestone Totem early. That's okay. We will go ahead and play those here. And oh yeah, we picked up the extra energy, so we even have one more here. Our bottom floor is spoken for, as we do need space in the front. I'll just play a Mollusk Mage. There's no reason not to. And here I think our Incant is now giving us 5 damage, so I'd rather do that over applying the Frostbite here. And when the Mollusk Mage gets to contribute, that's great. And here we'll just, set up our 2 units on the bottom. Oh, and the Silence here actually doing great work as well, as these guys are missing out on their Resolve. So they are quite likely to make it at the moment, so that's good. I don't really want to play the Steward, but at the same time I really want to make sure I discard the Titan's Tooth, so I'm going to go ahead and play it. And go ahead and apply a little bit of Frostbite there. And now that Coltelius is here doing a bunch of work as well, the Baron is going to get his triggers a little more often, which is great. Alright, we do want our guard here, as usual. Let's see. Yeah, I think what we can do is make our 50 damage unit at the top to go ahead and eliminate this guy for us. And then our stealth unit here on the bottom. And just go ahead and cast these spells just for the triggers. Okay. Yeah, no real room for the mages. I could put a second one on the top, but I like having that as an emergency spot for some of these remolded units. So we'll just be ignoring that. Again, we really need some removals. The train stewards in particular are getting in the way, but even the mollusk mages haven't ended up being useful in our plans here. So unfortunately, not getting to cast a lot of spells here. But these guys aren't hitting too hard at least. Alright, we're already near the end. Casting our primitive molds. Oh, no room for this. That's a little bit unfortunate. Should have perhaps planned that better. I guess we'll throw it at the top just to get it out there. Okay, we can see what a huge difference the Coltelia is making. Just clearing out so much before it gets anywhere relevant. Okay, well we redrew our stealth guy. So I think we'll be looking to play that over the exploding one. Oh, it's dying already anyhow. Well, I guess it doesn't matter much then, but we'll toss it down there anyway. Yeah, our very tanky Baron here, taking a lot of damage while this Frostbite does work as we apply 6 every turn. So great fight, feeling substantially stronger than we have been up to this point. Alright, let's see what our options are. Spell weakness, not too useful. Again, we have just very few spells that actually hit for damage, so we don't care about that. Permafrost, not good with all of our discard. Frenzied Swarm, a little bit interesting. It gives us a stun, obviously. Lets us discard our Titan's Tooth for sure, but it can be a little bit awkward with foregone powers. So I think despite this being a pretty powerful effect, I'm going to skip it here. we have all of our floors occupied, sort of. The top floor is not doing that much, but we still, I don't think, want to kill our units. We don't need mortar form, so we'll skip there. And again, we're gonna continue down the steel merchant path here, do some much needed removal. And look to finalize our units. We pick up Endless, which could be a good one on one of these encasements. If we don't have to reform it, but rather we get to just replay it, the burnout stays at 1 and it gets to die every turn. That's pretty good. And then we get health and attack. Alright, at this point I will just go ahead and give this health. Even though I do plan a reroll, there's just no guarantee it'll show up again. So we'll do that. And I will give Endless to one of these, just makes our life a little bit easier. And of course Incant shows up immediately. But that's okay. So the only question is whether we give this Incant or a Battlestone. The Battlestone should be enough to make it survive sweeps. The Incant could end up being a little bit more armor than that. So it could sit maybe in front of our champion instead of behind and provide an extra hit or two at the end. That said though, I like it having the health right away, I think, rather than needing the Incant. Then again, the sweeps that hit for 4 would still, 3 of them would still kill it, and we don't have a way to give it any sort of health or armor, so I actually will go ahead and do this. Alright, the large stone, not handy here, and we're not really looking to battle stone our molten encasements. So I think we're done with the steel merchants, and I wouldn't be too unhappy spending a little bit more money on purging additional cards. We do have another shop coming up here, but I think we're pretty strong. We're likely to take this challenge, and these stewards are just getting away a lot at the moment, so we're gonna go ahead and get them out of here. Okay, we got our sweep boss here, and the Mark of Invasion means we're taking some damage. We're at 68, I think I'm okay with that. We'll just likely leak everything that spawns, maybe except 1 or 2 of them. Though, problem with these, of course, is that killing 1 just makes the floor stronger, if anything, so... we'll take this and plan to take around 15 damage or so. Oh, the silence is actually interesting. Might mean we get to kill some of them and feel good about it. And we got our Siren Song as well. As usual, we draw our Lodestone totem right away, but it's okay. We'll put it behind the champion again to make it survive. And we get to actually play our whole hand here, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, we might as well do this, save us a bunch of damage. And just go ahead and eliminate some of these guys. Okay. Did not, unfortunately, get our Cold Celia yet. Obviously get our tank out in front. Yeah, these primitive molds looking pretty awkward. Might as well cast them for some triggers. So these guys are going to deal 8. I think I'm willing to take that rather than trap shooting, and what I'm going to do here is actually trap shoot the collector to try and get that gold bonus on the following turn. And it saps these for more, which might end up doing something. Alright, here's our Cold Celia, obviously we'll be playing that. Still no luck getting to our tomb units, making these molds terrible. And here we're just looking to, once again, or not once again, deal some damage to this Guardian who's about to get very big. I would like to kill this unit as well, but it's just not as important as applying as much as possible to him, not to mention the nice encounters that we'll get out of playing stuff on this floor. Alright, now he's taking a pretty good chunk with the Frostbite. He shouldn't do too much damage to the Pyre. It's a trial costing us some health, but we can't handle. And this guy's not quite dying, so we'll be looking to play a spell there to make that no longer the case. Yeah, once again we get to play our whole hand. I'm just going to deploy this guy, even though he's going to die. Well, it does actually get in the way of our molds a little bit, so maybe I don't do that. Okay, so this guy needs to take more than 6, so we'll give him the Flash Freeze, and then just play some more spells here. And the silence once again coming in very handy here as we get to have less of these buffs going through. Very convenient. Alright, I guess might as well play or end this guy here. Means we'll get the stacks this turn and get the redraw him for the boss. Pretty cool. Just play some cards here. We'll just be replaying this guy on this floor, so not sure if any of this does or doesn't do anything. I'll just play them all. And the nice thing is that the stealth doesn't even get around the sweep, so that's pretty convenient. Looks like this guy is surviving, and the sap's gonna wear off, so he'll get to deal a whole 2 damage. Unfortunate, but not too relevant. Yeah, here we just get to deal a bunch of uninterrupted damage while our stealth takes down the excellent. Of course, the sweep's still hurting us as we get to stop applying Frostbite after a while, but the boss is basically dead. So, decent fight. We were expecting to take some damage given the trial, and we did, but it wasn't anything we can't make back, I don't think. Alright, so we have another offering card to apply sap. And these two we've talked about before. I don't think anything's changed. Frozen still looks pretty bad, Spell Weakness still looks pretty bad, so it's just a question of whether we like a Guardian Amulet or a skip. And I think I will take it. We have the synergies with it, and we have the extra energy, so on some turns we can even just play it straight up. It's a decent effect sometimes. Alright, we get another tomb unit if we'd like. Summoning 2 drafts, not something I'm really in the market for. And then we have a choice of these things. We are looking to have some units die with these tombs, but I don't think we're taking it up fast enough for Memento Mori or Memories of the Melted to be that strong. In particular, energy is a concern early on in the fight, so we're trying to deploy our units, not so much later. So a spell that gives us energy late in the fight, not too helpful, and Memento is just not going to be that good. It'll maybe deal 100 damage if we're lucky. That isn't really that good of a conversion rate, so happy to do a skip there. Okay, and now we get to decide between a little bit of healing, an artifact, and maybe another artifact that we can pay for versus a magic merchant and more removal and some extra cash. I am still looking to remove the mollusk mages. They have been getting in the way a bit. But beyond that, the deck's mostly fine. So we don't have that much removal to take care of. The magic merchant... I mean, we haven't been to one yet, so there's definitely some improvements we can pick up, just making some stuff cheaper. I don't think there's anything that works particularly well. Say holdover here. So I think I'm actually going to go this way, get that little bit of higher health back, and get maybe even 2 artifacts. So let's just check the shop first, see what we have. Okay, this could be pretty good. That's not impactful enough, and that, you know, we have none of our spells upgraded, so we're definitely not going to be paying for that. Okay, Forever Flame is perfect. It means our setup is just so much easier. Sort of negates our energy relic pickup earlier, but nevertheless I'm very happy to see it. And here I will pay for a Wax Snuffer. It just means stacking up stealth becomes so much easier. That one dude deals 100 damage. It's pretty good stuff. Alright, continue to get stronger as we head into the next boss fight. Okay, time to see what Arcus has in store for us. I assume we can't silence these with the seaweed. I'm actually not sure, but that would probably be a little bit too much. Okay, we got our stealth guy. That's cool. So we'll just, let's see, yeah, the top floor is smaller again, perfect. We'll just do the usual setup here. Obviously now our energy requirements are basically non-existent, so we'll be looking to maybe pick up an expensive spell or an X spell, something along those lines. Make some of the extra energy we're getting. Getting very lucky him summoning it, all these stones up there. Let's play our Baron, and then we just have to decide if we'd rather have our exploding or our stealth. I actually think I like the exploding for now. Just go ahead and deal a lot of damage to this guy for the turn. Is it worth getting 10 Frostbite on the boss over 1 Incant Trigger? It's close. He's gonna attack the boss a lot during the final fight, but 10 Frostbite also just deals a lot of damage right now. I'm gonna do it here. Not sure where the correct spot is. Don't want to occupy any space here, so I'll just let this guy slowly burn out on top for a possible remold later. Alright. Slightly unfortunate timing, though it doesn't matter too much. And our tank is slow to the party here. We're definitely looking for draw off this boss to get through our deck a little bit quicker. Let's see, we are leaking something. We should draw our tank next turn, so I'm going to play this in the front. Again, for the plan to stack armor on it and buy our champion a few more hits on the boss phase. In the meantime, let's reform a unit. I guess we're kind of forced into playing this one. Well, are we? We're only taking 3 damage. I'm actually going to play this one top. I'd just rather be getting the stealth down there. And here we can't play our Firebound spell, so we'll just put these out. Perfect. We got our Endless unit here, so that's really good. The only downside is that these molders are just completely useless now. We'll just kind of keep playing these guys up here for no real benefit. But at least we have the space to do so, so they're not floating around our deck. Yeah, and at 4 stealth every turn, this floor is gonna be pretty nasty going forward. Might as well flash freeze. Do I play these Mollusk Mages? Sure, let's get them out of here. And let's see, you're on Burnout 2, and you are the one that by stealth. Yeah, you know what, I'll just drop this guy, let him eat some more Frostbite, give him everything cans. Silence here, fantastic news for us, of course. He's not getting extra armor. I have to make sure I actually play the correct units here. But we will be doing that. The incant here is a little unfortunate. Probably means we aren't going to be playing any of these spells down there. So, don't care about the mold. I guess we'll just do these things. Continue applying ludicrous amounts of stealth, though it does stun our floor. It sucks, but whatever. Here, more stealth. So unfortunately, this guy's actually gonna leak quite a bit of health. A little bit unfortunate. But there's not a whole lot we could have done there, I don't think. Well, at least the Frostbite made it 2 hits. That's pretty cool. And yeah, us already dying again. Just 12 stacks of stealth is a lot. Where units don't hit all that hard. So we just attack him unopposed, apply ludicrous amounts of frostbite. Yeah, and he's dead before he could even see us, so that's great news. The sap on the final fight could actually be a bit of an issue on our Cold Celius. That's something to think about. Alright. Formless Child. Interesting thought, but we kind of have our setup going already. We don't really need this to be returning other units. Ancient Synergy. I did say we're looking for an expensive spell. This deals about 100 damage, it's not so bad. And the Hoarfrost Effigy can be powerful. We are applying a lot of Frostbite potentially. So this has its moments, but I think I'll just take the Ancient Synergy. It's just a way to spend our energy right now. Okay, and yeah, we're pretty much done with Merchants of Steel, so we'll have to go this way. Not a whole lot of cash to spend at the store, that's fine. Yeah, and so we have our option to pick up the Titan channel now over the 3rd Dire Channeler, which is probably what I'll be doing. So if you just look at the math on this, this ends up dealing 2 more per stack, and this gives us 45 attacks, so we would need 45 divided by 2, so roughly 22 stacks for this to even catch up. Which we might get over a long fight, but even if we do, the fact that this splits up into the action and the attack separately often helps with clearing out some of the non-boss mobs. It is a little bit worse because the boss is temper ability. It means it won't actually be 45. But I think I'm still happy with this. It gives us a little bit extra health as well, which is sometimes useful. Yeah, and getting through the 4 stacks isn't so difficult, so get this one up. Then, yeah, I'm still gonna just remove these mollusk mages. We can play them on the top floor and kind of throw crap in front of them. They're not so bad, but I think every other card in our deck is doing more. Although the primitive molds are kind of bad now too. Now we have our endless only in case we really don't need these. But I still think the mollusk mages are the worst of the bunch. Alright, let's see what we got here. Remove consume on the trap shoot, actually pretty good. It's a strong effect. Magic power and consume on a flash freeze. That could be decent. We have our sweep unit now, so these aren't as necessary as they were when we picked them up. And a cost reduction. Sure, I guess. Let's see, can we afford all these? We can, so we might as well. So yeah, we'll probably happily reduce the cost on that. I will remove consume from this, and yeah, I'll make one of these flash freezes consume. They're not, well, it's interesting. They're not that strong, but we also have lots of other cards that are even worse in the deck. So I guess I'll actually not do that. Just because the foregone powers are even worse, the moldeds are often worse, so I guess we'd rather draw a basic flash freeze still. It's probably not a huge difference this way or the other. And we're looking at Spell Shield once again. Yeah, still not really a huge concern. We have, other than this Ancient Synergy we picked up, we don't have much that deals direct damage. These guys are going to be a little bit of a problem, but hopefully we can just stealth our way around them. So, hoping for some good draws early on here. Okay, and we get a smaller bottom floor, shouldn't make a huge difference for us, and we immediately get our stealth guy, which is great. That means I can set up very easily here. I mean, there's no reason not to play him and apply even more stealth right away. Unfortunately, we can't cast this on this floor because this isn't a creature, so we wanted to hit our own guy for the trigger. We can't do it. And I think the Titan's 2 is a little too valuable down here to be tossing it out for a trigger, so we'll just do that. Our harvest unit here immediately with 7 stacks of stealth. And we'll go ahead and get our sweep going to get even more money. Great news. This probably continues to sit in the front. And yeah, this guy's gonna hit 10. We are guaranteed to draw a tank next turn, which is good. I don't really see much reason to play this, so I'd rather just try to discard it. I didn't. Well, in that case, I will just throw it out there. We are looking for a few more triggers to actually get our champion online here. But, oh, we actually didn't get them. That's really unfortunate. So this guy's gonna get through at quite a bit of health. Pretty unlucky, but what can you do? You're playing the Endless Creature here. And, oh, actually the Spell Shield's gone from it, so this will do some good work. And we'll just go ahead and toss some more of these out. Start here as always. It's like weirable hands, so we're going to do so. Go ahead and flash freeze you. Throw these guys out. And Siren Song is looking pretty good as we're not dealing very much damage to the Gilded Wing, so we might as well let the Pyre pick up the slack. Still get our incants. We shouldn't take too much damage from this one. Stealthy Cold Celia really doing a lot here. We were looking at actually taking all this damage on our tank. That would be pretty scary, but of course we get to just make infinite stealth and not have to ever worry about it. Just continue incanting away. Not really paying too much attention to how I'm arranging these. I don't think it matters. That going. Just play as many spells as we can. Yeah, I mean, I guess. Maybe we score a bonus harvest trigger here from that guy dying. That'll be great. Wow, this guy's still alive. That's actually terrifying and impressive. Looks like we don't quite get to kill him. It's a bummer. At least I'll be a little bit weaker going into the fire. And I will definitely at least play this guy. Stealth doesn't matter too much, but sure. I imagine this once again will just easily kill. It does. Yeah, once your stealth gets into these amounts, your units really don't need to be all that strong to take out pretty tough bosses. We'll see if it's enough for the final. I expect it might actually make it through, but then our top floor is still looking pretty good. Get our big payout and decide if we want anything here. No room for this guy, and Frozen's not any good. And these discard cards, again, I don't think they're quite what we want. So, can skip those. And I think we've seen all these before, nothing's really changed. Don't need these effects. Alright, we're not really looking for a steel merchant, so we'll be going this way. Duplicate something, remove some more of the bad cards. You remove consume again, not too helpful. Magic art. Cost reduction. Okay, let's check out our trinkets. That's always interesting when you have this much. Oh, this looks phenomenal here. Yeah, I mean, no doubt in my mind that is a worthwhile purchase. The molded bracers would have been cool, but not something I'm willing to pay 270 gold for. 345, a reroll still could give us something here, so I might be looking at doing that. There's some consideration just spending here as well, though. 10 damage there is pretty good. Minus cost on something is interesting. And a reroll here could give us maybe either holdover or double stack on the trap shoot would be really good. Yeah, I'm not sure beyond that. So for now, I'm going to reroll the Trinket Merchant. See what that brings us. Exploding Candle obviously has a little bit of synergy. We're gonna have a burnout unit die every turn, but the 5 damage is just not too substantial, and our Cold Seal is already doing so much. And the rest of these not too exciting, so Not gonna worry about that shop. Just go ahead and give this magic power and then cost reduce. I don't know, the Titan's Tooth, sure, that was pretty good. And we get holdover, okay, it's fun. Yeah, I think I will put it on the trap shoot. We can stack a bunch of days on something, make sure nothing really gets through. That's good stuff. We don't have enough money for a remove at this point, so we might as well just add some of these effects. Let's make this a little more achievable as well, sure. And then at this point, I'm looking to cut probably some molds. The excess encasements are an option as well, but I like having those early on if we don't draw into our endless quickly. Having something to jump in the way for a bit is helpful. But reforming them afterwards has not been particularly useful, so we'll just go ahead and get rid of 2 of these. And for our duplicate, let's see, more trap shoots. Card's just good. Possibly more ancient synergy. Yeah, nothing else really stands out. I'll just go for this, I guess. Well, is that even good? I really need 2 of these. Let's actually go for Titan's Tooth. I don't know. And our friendly units are, of course, weaker, which could be a minor problem. Okay, we got a smaller middle floor. That's fine. We don't draw any of our sweeper or anything for the bottom floor here, but we'll go ahead and set up top, start, and these guys might as well get thrown out. We can reform them later. Apart from that, and then go ahead and send this enemy and less frostbite, which will of course stick around permanently, so that's great. Okay, pretty bad luck on the unit draws here. We really need the Cold Celia to start doing work, but for the time being, we get to play our totem. Do still need to continue playing this guy. I want to make sure there's no triggers going off. Yeah, and I will use one of the flash freezes just to reduce some of these nastier enemies, but beyond that, go ahead and get our triggers rolling here. You can do whatever you want to do. And we are looking for one of those duplicated Titan's Tooths here to save us from this particular onslaught. Still didn't get there, that's okay. We get to develop the bottom floor now, which is great. This can go in the middle and at least do a little bit of damage. And yeah, we'll go ahead and start deploying the holdover trap shoot. Sap is going to start being an issue on the Cold Celia. It's already down to just 1 damage. The Frostbite will continue to do some good work, but if she gets down to 0, we're going to be in a little bit of trouble. So we are sort of hoping these moldeds can help us keep a middle floor just for the boss to fly over there and sap them instead of anything more important. Meanwhile, we get to just cast everything here, so let's see, we get 3 attacks effectively, so I'm going to drop the big guy. Actually, we're going to get to Titan's Tooth him anyway, so I'll drop on the smaller guys, I guess. I'm not sure it makes much of a difference, and then we'll just these spells. And we're just really hoping to not get this sapped again immediately. Alright, sapping the top is okay. Let's see, continue to play our Endless Creature, of course. And then just playing as much of this as we can. So, let's drop... This guy's gonna get more triggers if we drop him, but he'll get more Frostbite applied, so I think it's okay. I suppose I can Titan's Tooth first here. Yeah, that's fine. Well, no, I think I'd actually rather... It's all complicated. Yeah, we'll do it like this. We'll do one of these, then drop the healthier guy, and then hope these discard the right thing. They don't, it's okay. And right there you see an example of by splitting up your champion's damage is pretty helpful. Alright, middle floor, yes, okay, that's very lucky. Continue this, cast our primitive mode to hopefully continue to have units in the middle. And here we'll just apply a bunch of Frostbite, drop one of them again, and more Frostbite. Yeah. At this point, our Crocilia is high enough that even though we're sap, it should still be attack. Which is good, because we need to continue doing that. Keep rolling on the stealth. It looks like we're almost the final wave here. So let's see, we have 4 mana and 5 mana worth of things in our hand, so we have to decide if we want to play the Siren Song right now. This guy's at 164 with 10 Frostbite. I believe that means he would survive. So I think what I'm going to do is shoot him down, and then do the Siren Song. So 1, 2, 3, 4 spells maybe? Yeah, it seems fine. Of course, should have done the Frostbite first, but it didn't actually matter. This guy can go ahead and do some damage at some point. Feeling reasonably confident here. We drew these kind of late, so they have less stacks of stealth than we've been kind of used to, but I don't think it's going to be a huge issue. Yeah, it looks like we're going to still kill the boss on the bottom floor despite the sap and the fact that we have less stacks. So, alright, looks like that's going to be a win. No real reason to play these cards, but I like to run up the score anyway. I'm going to drop one in case it messes with the math. And alright, GG. That's our 19 stacks of stealth. Yeah, and I guess we're just applying so much Frostbite damage from the units, it's basically irrelevant. We quickly stack up to beyond 100. Up here. Get to 230 almost stacks of Frostbite. Pretty solid. Alright, nice successful run. Struggled a bit in the early parts, but once we got those units upgraded and really got the stealth plan rolling, a couple of useful trinkets at the end there to really make things go. We got to take all the trials for a lot of extra gold. Yeah, and win in pretty convincing fashion. So that one felt good, and I will see you all for the next one.